Welcome to another episode of This Too Shall Suck podcast, where we talk about the real of grief, the whole grief, and nothing but the grief. What is up, you guys? So, as you all know, I'm currently on my break between season 2 and season 3, getting some much needed rest, decorating my house, all of those good things. But I wanted to bring you this bonus episode. I'm really excited about this bonus content that I'm going to be dropping. And I'm going to drop some more bonus content for you guys while I'm out on a break before I get back into my season 3 episodes. But basically, what it is just some, kind of topics that I've been talking to different people about, or just some bonus things that people have been like, hey, you need to do an episode on this. And it's not necessarily quote unquote a full episode, I guess, but I'm definitely just giving you some bonus content about, again, all things grief. And so in this particular episode, I'm going to be talking to one of my very close friends, Jeannelly Jay. She is the creator, founder, principal planner of Ivyleaf Interior. And so if you are following me on Instagram, you have probably seen that I got my room transformed a little bit. Was it last year or 2019? It was 2019. She actually transformed my room for me, and it just became a safe space for me. And a lot of the things, actually, I took my whole room and packed it up and brought it here to Cincinnati, and I've moved it around and repurposed different things in my house, but it has created such a beautiful place of peace for me in everything that I've gone through. It really came at a time when my dad was sick and I was in school. So there was a lot going on. And I asked Jeannelly to come and redo my room for me, do her Ivyleaf Interior Design. And it just helped me out so much and created a space of peace and a place of peace and all the chaos that was really happening around me. And so she came to me and said, hey, I really think we should do an episode about interior design and grief and how it correlates. And, I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, really? But immediately I was like, yeah, let's do it, because again, when you hear interior design and grief, you don't necessarily correlate them, but the conversation that you're about to hear with Jeannelly and I, she did a really, really great job of helping me and helping us and helping you guys, I hope, understand how having your space and how your space could be clear and beautiful, and having an interior designer come in and help you create that beautiful space can cause you healing in your grieving process. And so I'm really excited for you guys to hear this conversation. Make sure you stay tuned after the conversation, because I'm going to be announcing a giveaway that I am collaborating with Jeannelly on. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy this quick, or I'll say bonus content from myself and Miss Jeannelly Jay. Miss Jeannelly Jay, she has an affinity for home aesthetics, which began at an early age. Changing, rearranging, and reorganizing her bedroom was a favorite teenage pastime. As an adult, she found herself going back to old habits in between her corporate role as a project manager for a leading cybersecurity company in Atlanta. What started as repainting her living room became also refacing of the fireplace, and before she knew it, it was a full home decor reno underway. Never one to be described as creative, she realized an intense passion for creating beautiful yet functional spaces. With every finish, fixture, and accent piece, she fell further in love with home decor. It is out of this love affair that Ivyleaf Interior Decor was born. As the founder and visionary of Ivyleaf Interior Decor, she believes your home should be a reflection of your true essence. Whether your personality is calm, cool, and collected, or more bold and daring, your home decor should not only be eye-catching, it should capture who you are at heart. That's where Ivyleaf comes in, helping to reclaim your vision for your home. And although she is a woman of many hats, her proudest role is being the wife of my brother, her rock star hubby, Itis, and the mother to 3 amazing girls, my nieces. Our family is the source, or her family, well, it's my family too. Her family is the source of endless inspiration and is the glowing soul in all that she does. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome my boo, Miss Jeannelly Jay.
Hey, hey, hey. You are so funny. I'm so happy to be here. I love this platform that you're building, creating, designing, putting out there for the world. And I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you, girl. And you definitely are family. You're
I
my sister
mean,
from
family.
another mister.
Okay.
So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So that's why I'm like,
Of
yeah,
course.
my brother, my nieces. I said what I said. Thank you. No one correct
They
me.
are
Okay.
yours. They are
I
yours. You're
mean,
right.
I mean, at this point, like nothing y'all could say. So
Mm,
there's
yep.
that.
Yep.
See, we gonna try and act right. Okay. Loryn, act right. Okay. So I shared a little bit, with the listeners about my story and how you helped me as far as with interior design, because I think the thing is, when Jeannelly and I talked about this, Jeannelly kind of brought this to me and I was like, you know what? Like, you're absolutely right. People don't think about like interior design or like designing
Mhm.
their space as a form of like healing in the grief. And so
Right.
that's something that we talked about. So I thought it was important to bring her to this bonus episode. But I also wanted to bring her on because Jeannelly has, went through her own grief. So I wanted you guys to know that she is a person and how interior design has kind of helped her with that. So
Mhm.
before we get into that, I definitely want to talk about how do you think that designing your space or interior design can help you in the healing process when it comes to your grief?
Yeah, so as you've been doing this platform, Lo, you know that grief has many different stages, and grief just isn't just about death, right? Grief can be anything. It's just the art of letting go of something and you holding on to that emotion is,
Right.
to me, it's the definition of grief. And so when I launched this business, it was more so because I wanted to give everyday working families a retreat, and because a lot of people don't really spend their energy, their time, and their money or resources into creating a home that they love, they're just going, in the rat race of just trying to make ends meet.
Mm,
And they're coming home to a space that doesn't even lift them up. I mean, where do you get your fuel from? It's when you come home and you lay in bed at night. But if your space is chaotic and it's not aesthetically pleasing, you're still within that same emotional turmoil of
mm,
going against the rat race and not having a place where you can fuel up, right? Like, where do you get your energy from? And so for me, designing people's spaces and all of the amazing clients that I've encountered, their reaction is always like, wow, I feel so much at peace. Like, I feel so much serenity now because this is what I was wanting and envisioning, and I didn't have to break the bank to get to where we're at in terms of this phase. And in that, I find out from a lot of those people that they are going through their own grieving. Like, they're investing in my company and I'm investing into their home. But in that, I'm finding out that they're doing this because they're going through a divorce. They're
mm,
doing this because they lost their dad the previous year. They're doing this because they let go, they got laid off from a job. COVID has impacted so many people, and so many people were, some people really don't care for their job, but I know a lot of people that really do love their jobs and what they're doing, and they had to do a workforce reduction or eliminate positions, and that is a grieving process in itself. And so they would divert all of that energy and all of that sadness that they were feeling because of that loss towards interior design, or towards just into that service of recreating a space so that they can get their zhuzh back, right? Like, they can get their
yeah.
energy back. They can decide, hey, today I'm waking up in this home office that I created. Even though I don't have a job, I'm going out there to go find a job. Hey, I know that my world feels like it's crumbling because I'm going through this divorce, but my goodness, like, I have my own house and I did it by myself, and it feels so triumphant. And so grieving in all of that, and also designing your space, kind of goes hands in hand, because you don't realize how much you need your space to feel at ease, at peaceful and serenity, when you're out there in the world facing so many things that we're facing. The moment you exit those doors out of your home, you have so much to worry about. And so that's why I really love bringing this to you, because I wanted you to understand that this is one of those things that people don't talk about enough, but now we're becoming more aware that, hey, you can have an HGTV type of home or feel, and hopefully it'll uplift your spirits.
Oh, I love that, Jeannelly. Like, I didn't even think about it like that. Like you said, somebody who lost a job, but now they have a home office and they're inspired by that.
Correct.
Or, like you
Correct.
said, being divorced, but now you have your own house and it doesn't necessarily have all the things that you all got together when you were
Right.
married. But now, like, this is my space. Like, this
This
is
is mine.
right. These
Hmm.
are the colors I wanted. This is the
Hmm.
painting I wanted. This is the
Hmm.
chair I wanted. So I want to talk a little bit about more of, if you lost someone and, how, and this is something that I thought was really cool that you brought of like how maybe you can repurpose, a piece of somebody you lost or like
Right.
how you can create those touches so they're in your space. Even though they're not physically there, like they can still have the spirit in your space.
Yeah, absolutely. I've dealt with a lot of people who have gone through a grieving process throughout enlisting, when enlisting services with me. And you're probably my number one example, right? Because when I got a chance to work on your bedroom, I remember that we were honestly going to be trying to invest those resources into the basement of your mom and dad's house.
Yep.
And I remember I still have the picture in my phone of dad sitting on that sectional and like, we're not getting rid of this and we're not getting rid of this. And you were like trying to work with me to figure out how to paint and what are we going to do down there because you wanted to make it feel like you wanted to uplift his spirits
Right.
because I think it might have been around the time that we found out he might be sick or something was going on. So we wanted to just make the basement feel alive, right? And then you were like, oh, Jeannelly, he's not backing. He's not, Dad. He was so
He was
stubborn.
not with it.
He was not with it at first. So you were like, Jeannelly, just do my room. And I remember I asked you like 50 million times, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yep.
This is not a little bit of money. I want to make sure that you're comfortable with this. You were like, I'm sure, I'm sure, I'm sure. And I just remember like when everything unraveled with Dad, I felt that your space had to be a true reflection of what you need at the end of the day because
Mm,
you were in hospitals, you were dealing with still kind of the loss of your mom, and
mm-hmm.
then you were in school, so
Yep.
it was so many things that you were doing, and I'm like, dang, where does Loryn get this recharge? So one of the things I wanted to incorporate during that time was obviously photos of mom. I've always loved incorporating photos, and it's very sentimental to me because I think photos is really, it's such a basic concept of a photo, but when you put it in a frame and you stage it next to a bed so that when you wake up in the morning, you see that person that you used to see almost every day, right? That's your mom. It gives you a little piece of home knowing that
Yeah.
she's right there by your bedside. And so that's really important. I also did another client's home where she wanted to make sure that she kept her mom's furniture, right? She
Mm.
had this beautiful clock in her home office. And she's like, I mean, I know that you are one of those people that like to kind of get rid of everything, but if you could just, if you
Jeannelly
could
will come
just,
clean your stuff right on
I
out. She'll be
will,
like,
yeah,
actually, you need to get rid of that. I'm like, oh.
yeah, I don't, I'm not low key a hoarder, and I try not to be like, I don't want my clients to be hoarders. So I'm
Right.
always kind of encouraging to go like a newer and fresher route, right? Like, why are we holding on to things? I get it. But then grieving is also part of the letting go. So if you're holding on to things,
Mm.
yeah. So if you're holding on to things that you're like, I've had this for 10 years from college, it's probably about time that we need to let that guy go and let's invest in let's invest in like a new couch, right?
Right,
Like let's invest
right,
in a new mattress.
right.
um so that's where with this client, she was just like, look, like this clock was in her home office, and I was like, oh my god, this clock. But then I looked at it and it was such a beautiful clock, and I was like, yeah, we're using it, and I was able to really give her home office with the desk, the bells and whistles of the Ivyleaf brand, and incorporate that clock, so that every time she looks up, it's her mom's clock. It's a huge, uh, maybe 6, 7 foot clock, that she really wanted to keep and incorporate. And we also did the same thing in her dining room. She wanted to keep the dining room furniture, and I just played it up with some tablescaping, some pieces of artwork around the walls, and we kept it, and I threw a rug under. And till this day, she's like, I feel like my mom is here with me, and it
Mm.
feels so good to know that you were able to use my furniture. because at the end of the day, you have to live there and you have to be, receptive to my ideas, but
Right.
also you have to, I have to remember that people have gone through their own traumas, their own experiences. And as easy as it is for me to let go of something, it's not that easy for someone else,
Right.
especially if tragedy has happened. So I love to incorporate little hidden gems here and there, um, to my clients, especially if they've lost someone, to just let them remember them in their home. So it's just one of my favorite things to do when they let me know that they're going through something, not just loss in terms of death, but
Mm-hmm.
some kind of loss, let's say. And I like to incorporate that into
Yeah.
the design. Hmm.
Yeah, no, I love that. I absolutely love that because you, like you said, you still have, the things that can give you the Ivy Leaf Interior brand and the freshness of 2021, right? But
Hmm.
still have that piece of home, like again, like I shared, with my listeners, like just I don't. I wish I had the reaction video somewhere because
Hmm.
literally when I walked in my room when we did the reveal, my mouth was wide open. First of all, Jeannelly is married. I call her maiden name. I was so just like shocked. I was like, Jeannelly Castro. Like I was like flabbergasted. I was just like, what is happening? I was like, whose room is this? Because the before and after was wild. Let's just be very clear. But
Hmm.
just and then she's like, look at this, and she's like, look over there, and I looked and I saw the picture of my mom on my nightstand, and then she had some pictures on my bookcase, and when I tell you, I just lost it, and we both just started crying
Hmm.
because she knew how much that would mean to me. And so I think just kudos to you for, just taking pieces of things that mean something to people, like you said, with her
Hmm.
clock and, with things in her dining room, and just allowing that to be a part of your brand and just giving that personal experience. And I'm not like just trying to hype her up because she is like my sister friend. I'm being very serious. Like she really cares and she pays, because I didn't say anything about my mom at all. Like, but the fact she went on my Facebook, pulled these pictures, printed them, and put them in frames, like, I don't know what else interior design. I don't know what y'all interior designers are doing, but
Hmm.
Ivyleaf, my girl Jeannelly Jay, is out here touching people. But that's neither here nor there. Let me stop before I go on a rant. Um,
I'm glad that you brought that out, Lauren, because people always just see the reveals, right? They
right.
see the end result, but it's a lot of thought process.
Yeah.
And I think about every single thing, and I think about every single logistical, like, okay, I have to pull these photos from Facebook, add them to a folder,
Right.
send them to Walgreens or Walmart, get those printed in a size that I want to be reflective for it to sit on a nightstand, get the picture frame, right? Go pick that. Like it's the process,
Right.
right? And this is just one project compared to the other projects that we're juggling. So I'm glad that you bring that up because it is very important to me that I'm always intuitive with
Yeah.
my clients.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No,
thank you
you
for
can
pointing that
tell
out.
that. Yeah, you can, but you can tell that though, because
Hmm.
again, like, although like you go to these clients or you go to your consultations and then something may come out to say like, oh, I just lost my job, or,
Hmm.
or whatever, insert whatever it is. And it's like, oh, so now you're the beautiful spirit of who you are. You're like, how can I incorporate something to make them lift their spirits in this moment?
Right.
Because at the time we didn't know that dad was going to pass, right? But
Mm-mm.
you knew everything that I was going through, and I had nothing to
Hmm.
give. I was like, Jeannelly, all I need is a desk and a
Hmm.
bookshelf and
Hmm.
a dresser. Everything else, you got it. I don't have any answers, and
You're right. Yeah.
But she took the time to say, you know what, Loryn is in school. Her, she's at the hospital every day. Like she's still figuring out, mom. Like what? Let me try and create a space for her. So,
Right.
I say all that to say that again, y'all interior designers could never. So let me stop being petty, and I mean it though. Said what I said. So I want to talk a little bit about, because again, me knowing you and the things that you went through last year, you guys heard Brian Patrick, who was on here, talking about the aftermath of suicide with his wife, Brandy. Brandy was actually a friend of all of ours. So Jeannelly knew her as well. And Jeannelly, was really close to Brandy and actually saw her like a week before, or talked to her a couple days before she committed suicide. And so and then, I know your grandmother passed away. So I wanted to talk about, how interior design has helped you and your own
Right.
grieving process,
Right.
because 2020 was a grief in itself. So I just wanted to, show people that, like, yes, you are an interior designer and you do these things and you think about other people, but how is it helping you heal in your own grieving process?
Absolutely. No, that's a great question. So, yeah, I mean, I'm still human. At the end of the day, I'm turning around these spaces, but I'm also still human. I'm still wearing multiple hats. I'm still a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. Was a I am a granddaughter, a friend, and all of those things. And with the passing of Brandy, I mean, that was very pivotal in my life because we would talk so much about. Um, like what she wanted to do in terms of like her next property that they were thinking about acquiring and how she wanted to she always was so fascinated and wanted to hire me for something in her house, and to the point where I came out for a consultation and before they sold their last house, and it was and she was just wanting to be around in the space, in my creative space with her. So when that happened, she had given me this artwork, and it still to this day is in my garage, and I look at it every time I get in my car. And it was tough because I had to turn all of that energy of losing someone that I just traveled with. I mean, we literally just got off of a trip together, and it was like 2 days later. So I had to just reinvest all of that energy into my projects, and then COVID hit. So when COVID hit, literally maybe 2 weeks after her funeral, or maybe
Yeah.
a week after, and it was like, oh my goodness, like the world has stopped. And I had to pivot. I had to pivot. I had to say, okay, I can't physically be in people's spaces. I can't physically be around people. How can I invest my energy? Because now I'm grieving her loss, but
Right.
also COVID hit and the world stopped. Um, how can I reinvest? And that's where I started really diving into these inspo boards and mood boards that I create, where I just give the client a concept of what I think their space needs. And then I send you all of the links. I tell you how to hang it up. I do a rendering so you can see where everything will go. And that had allowed me to sustain the business, but also to just tap into my own just awareness of like, okay, I am grieving, but I need to just put in this energy into
Hmm.
these boards, because I can't sit here and have a pity party.
Right.
Um, and then of course my husband, he got laid off. And so
Mm.
that was a grieving process in itself. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like
Like,
we just
oh
can't catch a
Lord.
break.
Right.
And then I found out also that we were expecting our third girl. So that, to me, I think people talk about the happiness of being pregnant, but I was not happy. I
Oh,
was
girl, I've been
not
bringing
wanting
you on for a whole episode about that. Don't even worry about it.
yeah, I mean, we could talk about that later, but I just was not happy. And unfortunately, that sounds very selfish, but I just had two kids and I was having a third girl, and I just couldn't understand why this was happening. Like at this time with my business going the way it was going, I just was so distraught. I was in my own grieving process of that. Like I was not happy. So um, I had to just literally revert all of that energy into my designs. Of course, and I think all of that energy that I put into my designs for 2020, it popped. I mean, it was so many projects that came that I didn't have time to sit down and have a pity party. And I actually liked it because I like to stay busy,
Right.
because I would be really down, with my grandma passing in the summer, who was a very maternal, pivotal figure in my life and makes me, I'm the person I am because of her and my mom. Losing her was just, I just like, I have to keep going, because she did not get to the United States of America for me to just sit on my butt. Like she did not get here for me to not work super hard right now and to just creatively come up with these spaces for other people. So it was just kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I gotta just put all this energy into being creative and put all this energy and all of my grief into these projects, which turned out to be amazing projects because I was giving it my undivided attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely love that. So you, like you said, you had so many different things in 2020 showing out the
Yes.
way that it was. Like we had this loss of Brandy, and then Itis turns around, loses his job, and then you're pregnant and you're grieving even that moment, and then Abuela passes away, and it's like, can we just
Can we just get a second? I
can
just
we
need a
just
second.
can we just but what I loved is what you said is that you channeled that pain into a purpose of putting it all into your business, and now here you are in 2021, and my girl's a full-time entrepreneur. Woo, woo, woo. That's okay. I'm gonna put the what's up there? Because,
Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Like,
it's a
and
blessing.
yeah, 2020 was explosive. It was sad, but it was successful. It was sad, but it was successful because it got me to 2021, and in 2021 now I'm able to say, hey, I can quit my corporate America job because I put in so much time cultivating my craft in 2020 that now it doesn't feel like a grief, right? Leaving my job.
Okay, bye.
It wouldn't have, you're right. It doesn't feel like a grief. It feels more like a relief, a celebration of all of the work and all of the trauma that happened last year. It's kind of like that light at the end of the tunnel. It's 2021 now for me.
Yes, I love that. Ooh, so y'all hear that? Listen, people talk about that ugly side of grief, and it is ugly, but if you can work through that and you can channel it into something, it's going to turn into something beautiful. It always does. At the end of the day, you're not going to stay in that weird, dark place that, like you said, pity party. You're not going to stay in there forever. If you don't want to. Now, if you want to, that's a whole different conversation. But, you can make a decision on if you want to process it and move through it and how you want to move through it in a healthy, and again, there's no right and wrong way, but I do say there's healthy and unhealthy ways. And Jeannelly did a beautifully healthy way of channeling her grief into really putting it to her business. And now here she is able to walk away from her corporate job because her business is booming. And when I say booming, like, we both are like, okay, girl, like, we got a hard stop at this time, booming. So I'm just grateful. So thank you, Boo, for being here. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this. Because again, I just think that people don't, really correlate interior design and grief and what that looks like. And, you having your own grief and how that turned into something beautiful for you. So I just wanted to thank you for being here. And
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, girl. Like, I think that this is just the beginning for you. I mean, I think people don't talk about this side of life enough.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just in my little pocket of the world, like, just even hanging up a nice piece of artwork that makes you happy can be reflective of just turning over that leaf of grief, right? So just making sure that people are intentional about how they design or decorate their space, right? Like, colors matter, picking out the right shades of blues and the right shades of yellows, and all of those things, adding fresh plants to air purify your home. And there's just so many things that can really uplift your spirits. And even sometimes just something as easy as opening up the blinds. I can't tell you how many houses I walk into for a consultation and their blinds are all closed, and I'm like, girl, let that sun shine in. Let's get some of that vitamin D in. Right. So it's just so important, whether you're grieving the loss, like I said, a loss of someone, a job, you lost $10 on the road, like, whatever you're grieving, okay, just know that you can always come home, and hopefully that will be your place of safety, of retreat and serenity.
I love that. Ooh, and I love you. So that's there. That's when Mary had a little lamb. Okay. So Jeannelly and I are going to do a giveaway, but I will talk to you guys about that right after this. But so make sure you're following us. So Jeannelly, if they want to reach out for a consultation, if they want to follow you, y'all need to follow her Instagram. It's popping. Reels be popping. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my life together for real, because sis be reeling, and I'm like, oh God, it takes me like an hour. So where can they find you, and where can they reach out if they want to talk to you more about a consultation, mood board, any of that stuff?
Yes, thank you, Lo. So you can contact me. I'm on Instagram at Ivyleaf, Ivyleaf underscore interior. You can look at all of my current projects. If you want to submit a contact form where I can reach out to you, you give me a little bit of background on your project, you can go on my website, and that is www.ivyleafinterior.com. There is a contact us tab that you can click on, and it's just a little small form, gives me a background of what you're looking for. And then you submit that, and then I reach out to you for us to set up a quick chat. And then if you're like, Jeannelly, that sounds like too crazy and too expensive, just send me an email. I could be reached at hello@ivyleafinterior.com. So that's HELLO at ivyleafinterior.com.
I love it. And make sure y'all subscribe to her newsletter. Her newsletter is so freaking cute. I meant to tell you that the one I got, what was it, a couple weeks ago? I was like, oh, come on, colors.
You like it? I love the feedback. Because I always want to know, right? Like, I want to make sure it's not too busy or not too, like, much.
It's the cutest.
So I always love the feedback.
No, it's the cutest. And I think they can subscribe on your website, right? If they go there.
Yep, you can subscribe to the newsletter. It'll be a little window that pops up. Don't hit the X. Go ahead and input your information. And it comes out monthly. Like, it's not like you're going to get bombarded with emails.
Right.
I don't do that. I don't like that kind of marketing.
Right.
But I do know that I wanted to highlight a project per month. And so we highlight those projects, put that color swatch in there, and you'll get it monthly. So at the top of every month, you'll get a newsletter to let you know what project we're highlighting for that month or the previous month, essentially.
Yeah, it's super cute. And if you just want some ideas, you're like, oh, I like that. Now you can go to the store and you got the color swatch. You're welcome in advance. Okay.
Exactly. So you don't have to sign up for full services. You can just sign up for the newsletter, and you can figure out how to put things together if your little heart desires.
Exactly. But y'all need to hire my girl, but that's neither here nor there. But thank you, Boo, so much for being here. I really appreciate you and just bringing this to the platform. And, I love you to the max. And y'all make sure y'all are following us because, like I said, I'm about to tell you guys about the giveaway here soon. But thanks, Boo.
Thanks, Boo.
I hope you guys enjoyed that bonus content. Like I said, I'm going to be dropping some more bonus content episodes throughout my time of season 2 and season 3 break. Just kind of shorter episodes and just talking about things that maybe you didn't necessarily think about when it comes to grief and the healing process. And so I just want to thank my girl Jeannelly Jay again. She's absolutely awesome. And I hope you guys do reach out to her, whether it's a consultation, whether it's on her email list, whether it's her newsletter, whether it's following her on Instagram. She is very, very good at what she does. And I'm not just saying that because she is someone close to me. I'm being very, very serious. That she is very skilled at her craft. And she is someone who is going to put her heart and soul into redecorating, creating, revamping your space. And so definitely reach out to my girl. And with that being said, we are actually collaborating to do a giveaway. Yes, this Too Shall Suck podcast and Ivyleaf Interior Decorating are collaborating to do a giveaway for you guys. And so I'm just grateful because I know she is booked and busy, and the fact that she is even willing to collaborate with me to do this podcast is absolutely this giveaway is absolutely amazing. And so she is actually going to be giving away a free virtual consultation. That is an $150 value that we are giving away to you, my listener, for free, right? And I mean, honestly, like I had a consultation with her when we first, when she did my room, and I was just blown away by how detailed the questions are, how much she cared, the idea she gave me prior to even like setting up anything with her. So, it's absolutely worth it. And the fact that she's going to give it to you for free is just, I just appreciate her so much. So the giveaway rules are super simple, guys. All you have to do is number 1, make sure you're following us both on Instagram. You have to follow me at TTSS Pod and follow Jeannelly or Ivyleaf at Ivyleaf_interior. So again, number 1, you have to make sure you are following us both at TTSSPOD and at IVYLEAF Ivyleaf_Interior. The second thing you need to do is comment what working with an interior designer in your space would mean to you. So it could mean, hey, revamping my space so I can feel more confident going into the Zoom interviews that I'm doing, or creating a new space so I can feel more connected with my loved one who I lost, or, totally just revamping everything that I have so I can feel like the independent boss woman that I am now that I am divorced. So whatever it means to you, comment that in our comments on the giveaway post that you will see. And the third thing you need to do is tag 3 friends in the comments. So again, guys, super simple, 3 rules. Follow at TTSS Pod and at Ivyleaf_Interior. Second thing, comment what working with Ivyleaf in your space would mean for you. And number 3, tag 3 friends in our comments. And if you want some bonus entries, you can actually share it on your story and tag us both, and we will make sure you get those bonus entries. So that's it, you guys. It is super simple. And we will be giving away a free virtual consultation, and she is going to help you with that space that you have, whether it's revamping that space, creating a new space, or just, kind of put it in her little Ivyleaf swag, as I call it on it. But we are super excited to do this. And again, thank you guys so much for listening to this bonus episode of This Too Shall Suck podcast. If you haven't already, again, you're going to make sure you're following me on social media to make sure you get in this giveaway at TTSS Pods. And also, I'm going to be updating things throughout my break, and some exciting information is coming. And again, doing some rebranding, as you can see with this brand new logo. Your girl is out here popping. And if you want to know more about me, check out my website at thistooshallsuckpodcast.com, and feel free to send me any questions or topics you want to hear at hello@thistooshallsuckpodcast.com. This episode was produced by Mike Sick, and our original music is produced by Jimmy Samaj. As always, I love you guys, and I'm sending you love and light in your life because you deserve it. Thank you guys so much for just allowing me to be on a break, but bringing you this bonus content. I hope you guys loved it, and I will see you guys on Instagram for the giveaway. Mwah.